Good afternoon, residents of Everett, Washington. I'd like to call to order this Everett City Council meeting of February 26, 2025. For information on council meetings and how to participate, you can go to our website at everettwa.gov/citycouncil. For the record, we have Council Member Mary Fossey at remote, and thank you for participating. Clerk, will you please take the roll?
Mayor Franklin.
Here.
Councilmember Zarlingo.
Here.
Councilmember Fossey.
Here.
Councilmember Bader.
Here.
Councilmember Ryan.
Here.
Councilmember Vogely. Here. Councilmember Tui.
Here.
President Schwab.
Here. And at this time, I'd like to ask Vice President Zarlingo to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. And thank you. And Councilmember Fossey, would you like to lead us in the land acknowledgement?
Thank you. City Council wishes to acknowledge the original inhabitants of this place, the Hope's people and their successors, the Tulalip tribes. Since time immemorial, they have hunted, fished, gathered on, and taken care of these lands and waters. We respect their sovereignty, their right to self-determination, and honor their sacred spiritual connection with the land and water. We will strive to be honest about our past mistakes and bring about a future that includes their people, stories, and voices to form a more just and equitable society.
Thank you very much. And if we have any presenters or public commenters on Zoom, please leave your video off. And thank you for being patient with our technology changes. Okay, on to old business. Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes of February 19th, 2025?
Councilmember Ryan so moves.
Second.
Okay, motion and seconds made. Clerk, please take the roll.
Vice President Zarlingo.
Yes.
Councilmember Fossey.
Yes.
Councilmember Bader.
Yes.
Councilmember Ryan.
Yes.
Councilmember Vogely.
Yes.
Councilmember Tui.
Yes.
President Schwab.
Yes, and good afternoon, Mayor.
Good afternoon, President Schwab and community. I just have a couple of things. First, it's been great to welcome a bunch of new businesses to our downtown and throughout Everett. And last week we got to welcome Sobar, a new coffee shop on Colby. It's actually a coffee shop, gift shop, and event space. So I encourage you to check that out. And then just please save the date for the State of the City. That's going to be coming up on March 27th. At 4 p.m. hosted at Apex by our Greater Everett Chamber. So encourage you to look for that information on that and RSVP. And I have no further comments today. Thanks.
Well, thank you very much. Okay, on to public comment, which includes written comment acknowledgement. Angie, do we have any comments or anyone signed up to speak?
Good afternoon, President Schwab. We have received written comment, one from Dwayne Steig regarding Lowell Park playground replacement and Aaron Everett regarding competency diversion services. And those were provided to council, legal, city clerk, and administration to be part of the record. And we do have one individual in chambers for public comment. So if Steve would please come to the podium. Yes, and if you could please hit the button there that's red and state your full name, city of residence, and you have, yep, that's good.
My name is Steve Reed, and I actually came before you back in October and talked about the fact that my water meter had been removed on Old Pipeline Road without any notification to me at all. When I left the meeting, I was under the impression that somebody would follow up on that and I would be contacted. That's not happened in any way, shape, or form. Unfortunately, I've been preoccupied the last couple months and haven't been able to come. And it's dark at night, so I can't drive to your council meetings. However, that's going to change because daylight savings time is coming. Once again, I'm asking you, why was my meter removed without notification? Would you like to be treated that way? And my final question is, what can be done about it? Anybody got an answer?
I'd like to have you share your information with our Jennifer Gregerson so that we can have somebody from our water utility follow up with you.
Absolutely. I'd be happy to do that. I've
Thank
written
you.
my name and phone number and email and everything on the form that I submitted earlier.
Yeah, I apologize that we didn't follow up with you. We'll make sure that that doesn't happen again.
I appreciate that, Mr. Mayor. Thank you very much. Any other questions for me? Water season is coming. I need water. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And that concludes our public comments.
Okay, thank you very much, and thank you for your comments. On to council member comments. Councilmember Zarlingo.
Thank you. Just a couple of things. First, thanks to Councilmember Ryan for very rapidly connecting me to the billable lands document, whose importance for a comprehensive plan I had not appreciated. And also thanks to meeting with Planning Director Yorick Stevens-Wajda and long-term planning manager Alice Ann, walking me through more of these, and actually Government Affairs Director Jennifer Gregerson. It's helping me understand the situation and the trade-offs better in terms of what we're doing in the comprehensive plan changes or update to accommodate growth, especially in terms of amendments and changes that might come from me and other council members. Also, I appreciate their outreach to our community, to our neighborhood, and to the rest of the community who will be experiencing these comprehensive plan changes and the growth that we're trying to plan for. And wanted to make a note, if you weren't already aware of it, they're hosting a town hall today, 6 p.m. at Everett Station for our residents, to work with them, to answer questions, to take feedback, and for those of us who are involved in this, in my position, try to get a better way to understand what those questions are and proactively answer them. And then I did want to make note of one recent thing. It was a grant to our Everett Fire Department for specialized gear to fight electric vehicle fires. The fires are kind of rare, but have the potential to grow much faster. I'll wrap up quickly.
Yeah. Right.
These fires have the potential to grow much faster and than traditional fuel vehicle fires, and can be harder to fight. As someone with a background in electrical engineering and some in electric power and batteries, I understand some of the special challenges the firefighters face, who, in contrast to the rest of us, are compelled to approach these fires and deal with them rather than run away. So congratulations to the team for securing a grant for some special gear to help fight those fires. And that's it. Thank you.
You're welcome, and you can have 3 more minutes if you need them. Sorry about that. Councilmember Fosse.
Thank you. My comments are short this evening. I just wanted to highlight in the written comment the beautiful letter that came in from the Lowell Civic Association. I don't know if somebody else will mention it, about the park project, but it really highlighted one of the city staff in such a positive way. Lolly, they went on and on about her responsiveness and professionalism, making such a meaningful impact, and having positive things written in is not always what we get to see. So I just wanted to highlight that beautiful letter that was read into the record, and then also mentioned that I believe it is President Schwab's birthday this week. So happy birthday.
Thank you. Okay. Is that all? Thank you. Councilmember Bader.
You don't look any older to me, Don.
Well, thank you.
And I'll beat the buzzer too.
All right.
Let's see, real quick, Northwest Neighborhood meeting last week, went to that. York was there to, as part of his going around to the neighborhood groups presenting on comp plan, and traffic issues were at the forefront of neighborhood discussion, intriguingly also involving noise. And of course, we have the noise ordinance on for action item today. So that was interesting. And then also attended the first meeting as Everett's representative on the regional fair forum regarding Orca. And it was first meeting for us, a chance to learn or discuss what kind of issues are out there. I'll share more with council as this moves forward, but there's a representative, I think, from each of the from each of the jurisdictions with separate transit agencies. So Pierce County, King County, Seattle, Kitsap County, et cetera. So beginning that process to look at what happens next for the next generation of Orca, I think is probably the best way to put it. And again, I'll share that as the discussion gets going further in future meetings. Thanks.
Thank you, Councilmember Ryan.
Great, good afternoon. Thank you for joining today and sharing that you hadn't received a follow-up yet. So I'd request that staff could keep us in the loop, the council in the loop too, to ensure that there's a resolution. So thank you again for joining. I did, as a district council member for Lowell, I was going to highlight the letter, but Councilmember Fossey took the privilege. But I did want to share one line from here that shares from Dwayne Steig, who's the chair for the Lowell Civic Association, shared that Holly's been a fantastic liaison between our community and the project team. She's taken time to actively listen to our concerns, answer questions, and ensure that our voices are heard throughout the planning process. So I just wanted to give kudos to Lolly and the whole Parks team. I think some of the neighborhood meetings where Parks joins to share about different park plans that are coming up are some of the most exciting meetings. And I see the most engagement, I think, from neighbors during those meetings as well. So kudos to Lolly and the whole team. Hope everybody was able to survive the last wind episode over the weekend and were able to attend the farmers market, get ready market over on Sunday over here on Wetmore. On Monday, I attended the Carl Gibson Center luncheon lecture series. I guess I shouldn't say lecture, but more of a presentation. They asked me to be a presenter and share more about the city. And there were a lot of questions about the stadium, mostly because of the proximity of the Carl Gibson Center to the proposed stadium location. So there was concerns about parking and questions about design. So I did my best to field the questions from the knowledge that I have. So I just also still appreciate the continued partnership with the Carl Gibson Center and the great work that they do. Last night, I attended the Historic Commission meeting. Welcome to our 2 new commission members who were active actively participating in the conversation and provided some really great input on the commission continued their hard work on discussing the comp plan and making sure that there are historic elements that are taken into consideration during our comp plan process. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Councilmember Vogel.
No comment and no report.
Councilmember Tui.
Yeah, I just want to report I attended the Council of Neighborhood meeting on Monday, and they had both Vision Zero and the comp plan for briefing from staff. So a lot of great information there. I also wanted to let everybody know that the Monte Cristo Award, which is an award that recognizes neighbors who make Everett really special by taking pride in their property, gardens, and businesses, is now open for nominations. This was a program that was started by Councilmember Marion Krell. I don't know how many years ago it was, if there's anybody here that remembers Marion, but I remember her as a friend. Anyway, so you can nominate for green gardening, neighborhood friendly business, pride of the neighborhood, and rejuvenation and transformation are the 4 categories. So nominations are online. I know that whenever I see people with the plaque on their door or near their door, they're very proud of that, and they continue to be proud. So I'm really happy that this is being available this year. So it's everettwa.gov/Monte Cristo is where you can get the nominations. So look forward to those. Thank you.
Thank you. For my quick report, I attended the View Ridge Madison Neighborhood Group and the Boulevard Bluffs Neighborhood Group, which formed back, and they haven't met in a few years. So great to see that. Most of the discussion was, of course, on our comprehensive plan. So it's great to see participation. And the Monte Cristo Awards they're so much fun. And thank you for bringing that up. That was great. Also, just for this council, our next budget committee meeting is scheduled on the 19th. We're going to do one at 5:30 and maybe go for 45 minutes, take a break before our council meeting. If we have more to cover, we can do it more in the rest of the meeting, just to kind of keep the management of time. Our first subject is review the budget policies and if there's any proposed changes. I'll be contacting our consultant, Mike Bailey, and see, we had talked about in the retreat about having some recommendations, and Councilmember Toohey brought it up again today. I know he was working on some, so I'll follow up on and do a group email out. And then, of course, if you guys have any questions or any comments, feel free, let me know. We'll maybe schedule a meeting beforehand. So we can get some more ideas, some refresher ideas. I know we've talked about a lot of different things, so, yeah, go ahead, comment.
It'd be great to get any policies ahead of time so we can kind of review them. So that if we're only have 30 or 45 minutes, then it'll make the whole conversation maybe go a little faster.
Okay, yeah, and we can go longer during the meeting too, but
Oh.
yes, that's a good suggestion to have some documents ready in beforehand so we can be prepared. I appreciate that. On to our administration report.
Yes, a couple things. Last week, Councilmember Vogel, you asked about the water pollution control facility headworks structure. That's a key piece of wastewater treatment infrastructure. That action was the funding ordinance. We talked about that last week about, so funding ordinance that sets up the accounting for the valuation and design work. It'll likely advance to a construction project by 2027. At that time, it would be subject to consideration for a PLA based on the construction cost, likely well above the threshold, which is currently about 7.2 million. So expect to see something about that in a couple years. We did not hear the words hope and wellness in this room so far today, but I'll just break that and give you a short update. Our staff recently, so related but not directly related, recently worked with Our Lady of Hope to open a temporary overnight cold weather shelter. Community development staff have talked with them for a while about ways to help provide services to folks in need, and they've been interested. So they kind of tested and provided a great service during that cold spell like about a month ago. At the same time, our staff are continuing to work on new locations and new opportunities for Hope and Wellness. And we're happy to support both Hope and Wellness and Our Lady of Hope through the permitting process if that site is what works out so that they can be successful. And I already sent an email to Mr. Reed apologizing for not getting back to him in October, and I'll be working on that, and I'll make sure to update you guys on whatever I find out. So.
Thank you. How about our city attorney?
No report, no executive session. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, on to our consent items. We have 7 consent items. Do I have a motion a second?
Move to approve the 7 consent items.
Second the motion.
Okay, is there any quick questions? Okay, Councilmember Plum.
Just really quick, I'm gonna vote yes for everything, but I don't want the fireworks. They're gonna go through anyways, so I will consent to it.
Okay, thank you very much. So with that, clerk, please take the roll for consent items 1 through 7.
Vice President Zerlingo,
Yes.
Councilmember Fosse,
Yes.
Councilmember Bader,
Yes.
Councilmember Ryan,
Yes.
Councilmember Vogel,
Yes.
Councilmember Toohey.
Yes.
President Schwab.
Yes. Okay, moving on to our proposed action items. Items number 8 and 9 have been read into the record. Do we have any questions or comments from council members at this time? Okay, we'll move on. Our third reading for both of these will be March 5th, 25. Okay, item number 10, I'll read into the record. Council Bill 2502-14, first reading, adopt an ordinance creating a special improvement project entitled Forest Park Entry Driveway Repavement Project to accumulate all design and permitting costs for the project in the amount of $50,000. Third and final reading will be March 12th, 2025. All right, any questions or comments from council? Councilmember Bowman.
I'm glad that this is happening and pardon me. I've had many discussions with somebody in my community about this, and so I'm glad that it is taking place. That's all. Just yay.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to item number 11. Council Bill 2502-15, first reading, adopt an ordinance creating a special improvements project entitled Lowell Park Playground Replacement to accumulate project costs in the amount of $575,000. Third and final reading is March 12, 2025. Are there any questions or comments? Okay, thank you. Oh, Councilmember Vogely.
I do believe that this is what the letter came to council about. The Lowell Park Playground replacement and all of the different and wonderful things that Lolly and staff did to help get this to where the community wanted it.
Yeah, the Parks Department and Lolly got this down, don't they? That's good. Okay, item number 12, is Council Bill 2502-16, first reading, adopt an ordinance creating a special improvements project entitled Park and Downtown Restroom Access Control Project to accumulate all the costs for the project. Third and final reading is March 12, 2025. Are there any questions or comments from council?
I see that Bob Leonard is in the room and I wonder if he just wants to speak to it a little bit, since this is the first reading.
Bob Leonard, Parks and Facilities. I'm sorry, I didn't hear that last part.
Just you're here and maybe you want to speak to it a little bit, because I think I remember hearing about the park and downtown restrooms access control project during the Parks Board meeting. But
This project has several parts, but we're taking all of our playgrounds and restrooms. And we will be adding automatic locks to the restrooms. We're also putting in some visual and sound deterrents to, if there is anybody in the restrooms after hours, to hinder them being in the restrooms. And it also will notify us if a door is unlocked. Having automatic locks are great as long as the door is shut when the automatic locks are activated. But this other added benefit of knowing if a door has been left ajar, so that we can go out and address one restroom that's ajar instead of checking all of the restrooms to see if they're ajar.
Councilmember Tui.
At what time will they lock? Are they all different times or?
Yeah, they'll be able to be programmed to lock whenever we want, so they will basically follow our current standards of around closing of the parks dusk.
And then the downtown ones, will they be a different timeline?
I think that they will mimic the same, but it's up for discussion as to when.
Okay.
But it usually floats throughout the year depending on darkness.
Okay, all right, thank you.
And any other questions, comments, Mayor?
I'll just add, this is just part of the safety of the restrooms. You know, the goal is to provide restrooms so for our community to access throughout the day as they're using our parks and facilities and they just need a restroom. But we also want them to be safe, and keeping the restrooms unlocked all day can lead to some dangerous and bad behaviors in our restrooms, and we want them to be a safe place for our families and all our residents to access. So this helps support that with reduced resources and staffing across all city departments.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to our action item, number 13. Council Bill 2501-11, third and final reading. Adopt an ordinance amending chapter 20.08 Everett Municipal Code relating to noise control. Do I have a motion?
Councilmember Ryan definitely moves.
Second the motion.
Okay, we have a motion and second. Are there discussion? Councilmember Ryan.
Thank you. I just wanted to make a couple comments, and I'm really glad to see this finally coming forward for a vote to help address the growing issue of nuisance vehicle noise in our community. This is something I've been pushing on for quite some time, and it's been and I'm glad to see that these efforts have resulted in this coming for a vote finally. For years, I fielded frustrations from constituents and residents, including myself, who've been frustrated by the deliberately disruptive sounds of loud vehicles. And it's been a long, loud journey, but I'm glad to see progress. And this new ordinance is not only going to improve the quality of life for many, but also sends a clear message that we value the well-being of our neighborhoods and our good neighbors. And I'm happy to support today. Thanks.
Thank you. Let's, can we get a report from administration first? Thank you.
Oh, well,
Do you want to make a comment? Thank you.
yeah, okay, yes, I will. I just wanted to add that I appreciate Councilmember Ryan's comments, is one tool in the toolbox of how we tackle noise and that nuisance in the community and enforcement, the other tools that are available to us. And then also accept our staff's apologies. We had two not simultaneously, unfortunately, but consecutive medical leaves of key staff that worked on this. New family members welcome to the world, but it definitely slowed down the development of the ordinance. And so I know it's been a bit of a time coming, and but glad we've made it to this point. So
Thank you. Councilmember Vogely?
Yeah, I just wanted to also be appreciative of this ordinance. And although we haven't heard from him recently, person in my neighborhood has talked a lot and emailed a lot about noise complaints and vehicles and all of that. And so I hope that this will also benefit. It will. It should benefit most of us. All right. Thank you.
Councilmember Zalingo?
Well, just to reiterate on some of this, and as we'd had a discussion with our Assistant City Attorney Hill Kamen, who'd been working on this and briefing our committees on this in the past, this ordinance by itself is not the solution to the various noise problems we face. These problems are sometimes site related, sometimes vehicle related, and some of the things we do need to comport with or align with state laws in this case. And of course, making this more moving the enforcement to something that's more practical. So if we haven't explained this well enough yet, I do want to make clear that this is one piece that allows us collectively to respond better. We've had some discussions with law enforcement about this to try to bring all this forward, use the tools in the new ordinance, but also align it with the things that are allowed in city ordinance and state law. And so there's a real effort here on the part of the city. It's a very thorny problem, and it's some that a lot of cities don't address them well, but it has a real impact on our residents. And I just wanted to reassure that we're all working to have an impact on the worst offenders in this case and prioritize that. And hopefully we'll all be seeing some improvements soon.
Vice President Zerlingo?
Yes.
Councilmember Fosse?
Yes.
Councilmember Bader?
Yes.
Councilmember Ryan?
yes.
Councilmember Vogely?
Yes.
Councilmember Tui?
Yes.
President Schwab?
Yes, and with no executive session and no further business, we are now adjourned.